script.
Jimbo got listen to my podcast about sports.
Howdy, Ags from the Tailgate, home of Aggie Football. Today, my friends, we welcome the J Train to the podcast. What's up, Javorski?
Hey, what's happening? What's going on?
Man, just loving to have you on, man. Getting a little Aggie love over here. What you been up to, man? Tell us a little bit about what's going on in life.
Oh, man, I'm just enjoying life, man. Out of sight, out of mind. Trying to keep my health together and helping these kids as much as possible, man.
Yeah, so you got a deal going on down there doing some training with some kids. You want to tell some folks about that?
Yeah, I opened up a training facility in Swinney, Texas, in South Texas, Brazoria County. It's kind of out of the way, so it's kind of more of my speed where I'm at in life, man. So, and my life slowed down a little bit, and I'm just in the old man. I'm in the old man lane.
Amen, man. Join the club, brother. Join the club.
There you go. Y'all speak for yourselves, man. I'm still young.
I wish.
Hey, you went to high school over in Lufkin, man. I'm a former East Texas guy. I spent a little time coaching over in Diboll. And what'd you think about Lufkin, man? That you still go spend some time down there? You still got family and things over there?
Yeah, all my family's still there, man. I don't do too much Lufkin anymore, man. It's done changed a little bit, so man, I don't really go back too much.
I always find it interesting because back then, at that time, East Texas was the place for the big time, the best athletes in Texas, man.
Oh yeah, bro. I would say from 98 to 2007, bro, from in East Texas period. That was the mecca of high school football.
I want to make sure that I'm not telling folks lies, but as a senior, over 1,900 yards and 36 touchdowns, right? Is that right?
42 touchdowns.
42.
Yeah.
Check your stats.
That's what I'm talking about, man. That's what I'm talking about. That is production, baby.
Hey, Javorski, what were you running when you did that? Were you running like a 4.3, 4.4?
I wouldn't have no hamstrings if I was running a 4.3. I was an average speed guy, bro. I was a 4.7, 4.8, 4.6 guy.
Gotcha. Man, you big motherfucker though. If you're running that right there at 4.6, I'm running the hell away from you. If you're chasing me, I'm running a 4.3. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, man. I got penalized a little bit for my comments to some scouts and stuff about 40-yard dashes and stuff. So man, I didn't take the 40-yard serious, man.
Hey, the way I see it is, watch the film, baby.
Absolutely, and that was my comeback.
That's all you gotta do.
Hey Jay, it runs in the family though, man. Jermichael Finley, right? Peaky Stanton.
Yep.
Both of those cats, I mean, big time ball players too. You have another younger brother that also played college ball?
Man, I got Jacoby Ashworth.
That's the one I'm talking about. Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah, it's in the blood, bro. You
ain't kidding.
It's just one of those deals, bro, where, what I'm saying, I kind of look at it like, it's funny, but I kind of look at it like breeding animals, man. It's pretty much the same deal. Like if you got a good bull, you know what I mean? You put them heifers out. You put them heifers out there.
I was gonna ask if it was something in the water over there in East Texas, man.
Man, it's something.
Mm-hmm.
Something going on. Let me ask you this, man. So then Aggie Land 2005, right? Was your freshman year?
Yep.
What brought you to Aggie Land, man? What made you make the choice?
Man, honestly, man, it's two deals, man, really. My high school principal, Roy Knight, he brought me into his office and he was just like, hey man, I'm following your recruiting, but I want to give you some game for life. So he talked to me about, the life after football aspect, So, man, my family, we really don't have a college background and, going to college and stuff like that. So it was really a decision that I was going to make for myself. So he really basically explained to me, like, I wasn't going to be an athlete forever.
That's good guidance right there, brother.
Right. So, you know what I'm saying? He gave me that jewel, like, look, you know what I'm saying? I don't care where you are in the world. Aggie is going to take care of an Aggie, and we run this. So
let me ask you, and we'll get back to your playing career a little bit, but you got a son that plays baseball, right?
Yeah, Javorski Lane Jr.
There you go. And he just committed to the Aggies to play baseball, right?
Yes, sir.
So did you tell him the same thing?
Hey, I told him the same damn thing, man. Bro, don't be stupid. The foundation is already laid.
That's right.
Now you just be a smarter version and go get the bag.
That's right. That is right. Hey, folks in Aggie Land are ready to continue the tradition of Javorski Lane, baby.
Oh man, hey man, that's what it's all about.
100%, man, 100%. So, you got any favorite memories of Aggie Land or a best game that from back in the day? Which one stands out to you?
Oh, beating Texas ass in Austin, 12-7.
Wait, what do they say? Just put them down.
Hey, his horns down, baby.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about, baby. Yeah. That is it.
Yeah.
Hey, a topic that always interests me, man, is coaching. I'm a former coach, right? And look, you went through it. You went from Fran to Sherman, man. Talk about changing everything. So tell us about that, man. Tell us about the transition from one to the next.
Bro, see, I'm not going to say I didn't like Fran, but I didn't like what our philosophy was. So I was already in the frustration battle of transferring. Should I transfer or not transfer? Right? Then Sherman comes in. I'm really thinking about transferring because I don't really know this dude.
Yeah.
Right? So I get in that process. Okay, he did come from the league. He knows about the league. Then you move me to fullback. Bro, I never played fullback in my life. Like, I don't know nothing about fullback, bro. So that time, dude, that transition was extremely hard for me as a young kid.
Yeah, I can imagine. Hey, this is from a guy who was, you were the center point of that offense with Fran to a certain extent, right? The downhill run that you took in the zone read scheme that he was famous for. Yeah. That was you.
Yeah. We didn't if you go really look at the stats, 20 or plus carries, we win. 20 or less, we lose.
As a sophomore, right? 19 touchdowns?
19. That in the last 3 games, I didn't touch the rock at all.
That's crazy.
Why? Did you ask him why? Why the hell not?
Man, bro,
what? That doesn't make any sense.
It's crazy.
No, it doesn't. You know what I'm saying? So I come from Lufkin, man. You know what I'm saying? So, bro, I was in a confused state of mind at that time because, man, I come from Lufkin, man. And, dude, we won. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like you want to win, give
your players the ball, right?
Give your players the rock, and I didn't understand that.
Hey, along those lines, another guy that came from Lufkin you played with him in high school, Reggie. Reggie, who I thought was probably the most misused player in the history of A&M. That dude just got done wrong when Fran got over there. What he did as a freshman to go into Kyle Field and beat a #1 Oklahoma team, right? That dude's skills were just, through the roof, man. Talk to us about Reggie.
Man, dude, I got to grow up with Reggie, man. And I got to see Reggie at 13, 14, 15, 16, playing baseball, running track. The dude probably was one of the best athletes I've ever seen. And you know what I mean? And how he got done at A&M, bro, we was talking about it this weekend together at the Alabama game. I'm still confused of what happened.
I don't get it, man. I don't get it. Because, folks talk about how good of an athlete he was. That dude could throw the rock now.
That's what I tell him. I'm like, I don't understand like what GM, what scout said that you were a wide receiver. Like I still don't understand it. No offense against Ryan Tannehill. He's not better than Ryan Tannehill. I mean, Ryan Tannehill is not a Reggie McNeil.
No.
RG3 is not better than the Reggie McNeil. Vince Young is not better than the Reggie McNeil. Like Russell Wilson is not better than the Reggie McNeil.
It's kind of like better than many people right now. Struggling.
Yeah, he need to hang it up, man.
Struggling. I don't know what happened to that guy, but he is struggling.
Hey, man, it's time's changing.
Time's changing.
I guess, yeah.
And he's getting older, and some of those athletic skills that he used to have that helped him out, maybe not helping him out as much, right?
Oh yeah, bro. And one thing about that league, bro, once you get old, it's nothing you can do about it. It's nothing you can do about it.
You're trying to speed up, and it just ain't happening. You're like, oh, it ain't going. I got you.
Not happening.
It's that commercial with Emmitt Smith and Jerry Rice, and they're like, "Oh man, let's try a comeback." No.
Like these kids, man. Hey, Coach Javorski, man, let me see you do it. No.
Well, hey man, you gotta say something. That is pretty impressive what Tom Brady did playing for that long. Damn, getting beat up. He must be able to take a hit.
But I mean, he's been protected for years too.
For sure. True. Hey, speaking of quarterbacks, though, I think I pulled the stats. 3 for 5 passing as an Aggie, Javorski Lane is with a touchdown.
What?
Hey, bro, let me tell you something. That was my first position that I ever wanted to play was quarterback.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I wanted to be a quarterback at first. Like I talk shit. I can still throw a football right now like it's nothing.
Hey, Javorski, if you'd have played for me at ball, man, we'd have snapped you the ball and just let you go.
Oh,
no shit.
But now, so look, man, Fran caught a ton of heat in Aggie Land, right? People absolutely hated him in Aggie Land, that dude. I remember I went to a coaching clinic over there when he was there, and his own coaches didn't like him, right?
Yep.
What?
Oh yeah, bro, it was bad.
Yeah. You went from there to Sherman, and Sherman was like the complete opposite. People really like Sherman. Now, you went through the position change and all that, but ultimately, Sherman was also the guy that brought Team Miami, right?
Yes. So it was one of those deals, bro, to where I was a kid, so I was still in my feelings. You know what I'm saying? I was still in my feelings about the transition and you know what I'm saying, going from the J train to shit, really to the caboose.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I go from 10 tuds playing, 19 tuds playing, 16 tuds playing. Then I go from when he come in from 23 carries, 93 yards, 6 touchdowns.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So I was devastated, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like I had no guidance at the time. My grandfather had passed. So my go-tos and what I went through, bro, I was still grieving through all of that stuff that nobody really didn't know. You know what I'm saying? I was getting investigated through the NCAA that a lot of people don't know. So, dude, during that process, bro, I was going through a lot of shit as a kid that mentally, dude, I had checked out. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, I came into a immature approach. But once I got to the learning the business side of it, I said, you know what? Let me drop my pride. Let me drop my pride. Let me drop the weight. And let me give him what he wants.
And ultimately, man, you got through it, right? I mean, and that got you through the other end. You ended up with the Dolphins. You ended up with Tampa Bay, right? Yep. You got those opportunities, and that was a big deal. Let me ask you this, man. Difference between, playing in college and playing in the pros. They always talk about, the playbooks and all this stuff, how much more complex they are. I'll tell you what, I always thought that college coaches probably are harder workers than the pro coaches because, hell, they got to recruit and all that shit in the offseason even more than the pros. But what's your take on all that?
Well, from my experience, see, I came in as a free agent, so my experience is really totally different than the draft picks, right? But I've also seen situations to where it's no room for error opposed to the NFL versus college or high school. You make too many errors in the league, you're going to have a pink slip in your locker and you'll never come back.
Right.
Opposed to a college guy that get bombed a few times in a big game where next week he's still starting.
Yeah.
Right.
In the NFL, that's not going to happen.
So I don't want to throw some straight bullets here at a somewhat former Aggie here, but so what do you think about the contractual deal with Kyler Murray that he had to spend so much time with the playbook or something like that, or watching film? But how do you get to that?
Well, I'm gonna be honest. I was a guy that I never had to watch film neither. It was. I look at film kind of pointless as a running back. Because
different positions, right?
Right, different positions. But I think at his position, I think you need to know everything, right? So I don't understand why he doesn't. But all I've heard from Kyler Murray is he's a head case. He's a prima donna. That's all I've heard about him. So
I think everybody gets sort of that feeling about him. Which,
right?
Hey, look, man, he's still doing it. So I guess you got to give him a little bit of credit.
Yeah.
Let me get a quick ad read here. Episode today brought to you by Frida Homes, building Aggie dreams, custom home builders with over 15 years of experience in Brazos Valley. If you're looking for someone that cares about you and the details you care about, contact Frida Homes. Call Justin at 979-450-4466. When you call, just remember, everyone loves their Frida Homes.
Frida Homes.
Folks, don't forget to email us at agstailgate@gmail.com. Find us on YouTube. Subscribe, as we say. Smash the button and leave us some comments, man. A couple of comments from this past week. We got Pete O'Neill saying that apparently Billy over at Texas A&M needs to fire all those pocket holders and hire y'all at max contracts. Hey, man, I'm willing to accept a max contract. I'm still a free agent. So, Jay, you in for a max?
Yeah. Max contract for what? For going to Ags? Texas Ags? Billy?
You know it. As long as we don't just have to follow the company line, brother.
That's right.
One of our boys, Parr, says renaming my boy Smirkin Durkin to MD. Went to DC school and learned the term pressure. Hopefully it continues. You know, one of the big topics we've had on the show, Jay, was beginning of the season. You start off this game with, Miami early and the defense who's just loaded up front with studs everywhere. And they sit in there and just play passive, no pressure defense, rushing three. And then they transition. They transition into the SEC where they started just bringing pressure and getting after quarterbacks. You can see it in the production from the defense, but you can see it in the sack numbers and the tackles for loss and everything else. What are your thoughts, man? What took them so long, and what do you think about it now?
Man, it's pretty simple for me, man. The game of football is changing, and you have to think differently. You have to scheme different. You have to relate to these kids and use these kids to the best of their ability. You know what I mean? Like, nothing against the coaching staff, but I mean, they're old school, so they're stuck in their critical thinking skills aren't there anymore.
And especially this coaching staff that Jimbo's put together, right?
Right.
Brought in a bunch of his old school boys.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's not gonna translate. Like, these kids, with the D-line that we have, you pin your shit back and go.
Exactly. Thank you.
And Corey, what's that gonna do to the secondary that we've been talking shit about?
It's
gonna help the secondary. They ain't gonna have to cover as much. They ain't gonna have to cover for as long.
Right.
You're not gonna put the guy on the island forever.
Because, versus Alabama, man, dude can't throw. You put pressure on him.
So let's go there. Let's go to Alabama. Me and Corey talked about Alabama last podcast a bunch, but I want to get your thoughts, Jay. This look, people can look at it in different ways, right? 26-20, it was a respectable, but you're at home in that atmosphere with that group of athletes on the field. I don't care who's on the other side. I don't care who's on the other side, especially in the way this game was played. It's unexcusable. They should not have lost that game. What's your thoughts?
Man, I look at it like this, man. Like I could be wrong, but man, when it comes to College Station, bro, come to Aggie World, bro, that's my home. You know what I mean? I like Jimbo, don't get me wrong, but that's my home too. And I feel like, bro, it was some brotherly shit going on. Like, let me take it soft on him. Let me take it easy. No, bro, you don't do Nick Saban like that, dog.
No.
Man, you better shoot Nick Saban. You better shoot Nick Saban when you can shoot him, because he gonna shoot your ass.
That's right. You kick him while he's down. While he's down,
absolutely.
You kick him, and you keep kicking.
Look, and then the second half, I was like, bro, I wanted to fucking leave.
I'll say this, and this is one of the things that just absolutely drove me insane in that game. And, you know, first drive, right? They go down, they get on their side of the field, they get the fourth down, they get the 3rd and 1. They still don't go, you know, heavy, try to just get the first down, right? They get in the shotgun, the same old shit. 4th down, they do it, and now they play action passes deal, and they can't complete it. They give it up, right? And then in the second half, because they failed in the first half, that was their thought process early, right? That's the process that they came into that football game in. We're going to be aggressive. But because they failed in that first half, in the second half, when they were sitting there with the same situation on their side of the field, 4th and 1, punt. What the shit is that?
No, that's what I'm saying, bro. Like, it was, dude, I don't know, man. It was disheartening. You know what I mean? Like, this is a game that you must win for recruiting, for everything. Like, this is gonna stamp like everything, dude. Like, why not? What are you gonna lose?
That's the question, right? What do you have to lose, right? Why not go all out? Why not take all the stops out?
Like, you got the money. You got every recruit in Texas here. What are you holding back?
All right, Javorski, I got a question for you. What would you do different on the offensive side of the ball? What would you do different right now? Like, you saw the Alabama game. What's wrong with our offense? I mean, I know what I think is wrong. I just want to hear what you think is wrong.
Man, first off, I'm gonna get with my quarterback, and I'm gonna see what his strengths are.
Play to him, right?
I'm gonna play to my quarterback, and I'm gonna go to my receiving core room and say, look, if we don't have y'all, we don't win. We have
That's the best receiving core in the SEC, is it not?
Right. We have a young running back with Reuben Owens. I will get him more involved into the passing game. The Moss kid, I will do him the inside the tackles and stuff like that. But other than that, dude, I will get more of my receivers involved. So especially, like, you got a cat like Muhammad.
Yeah, what the hell's up with that guy? Why can't he get the ball?
What the hell is up with that, dude?
You've been saying it all year.
Every time the ball goes in his direction, it's a play.
Yes. And that's what I was arguing. That's what I was arguing with that I was telling you about earlier online about the Stewart kid. I'm like, dude, like, are y'all not watching Muhammad? That's the dog.
And it's not just this year. Go watch those catches last year.
Yeah,
LSU. He was just doing the LSU DB wrong.
Yeah. I mean, you got Moose, you got Anias, you got the Stewart kid, you got Thomas. I mean, you got talent.
You got
I think the O-line is the biggest problem on our team. And everybody knows the O-line can't protect. So why not get rid of the ball earlier? Why not do something to max protect? Why not keep some guys in? They're not going to be able to cover Moose.
That's what it has the theme for us over this season has been exactly that, right? What are you doing, Bobby Petrino, in order to help the offensive line? Because clearly they're not taking care of business. So are you max protecting? Are you getting the ball out quicker? What are you doing?
And that's what I was referring to earlier about the old school thinking.
Right.
Like, we have to adapt.
Yep.
Like, times I'm sorry, times has changed.
Exactly.
When you see play callers,
coaches,
when you see play callers like the guy we're going to see this week at Tennessee. So let's move on. We're going to go to Aggies go to Neyland Stadium in Knoxville, Tennessee to face the number 19 Tennessee Volunteers. They're 4-1. They lost to Florida. You know, everybody's kind of, you know, dropped off the map when they lost to Florida. And then all of a sudden they've won a couple of games against teams that ain't all that great. And they're back to being, you know, everybody's little Cinderella here. For us, for the Aggies, they're coming off a bye week and they're at home. I mean,
I don't like this. I don't like this spot for the Aggies at all.
I don't
like this spot at all.
I don't either.
I don't like it. Being on the road, they're coming off a bye. They just watched us get our butts kicked in the second half against Alabama. Look, they're like, man, we're going to put pressure on that quarterback. He's going to make a mistake. That offensive line ain't going to protect, and the coaches ain't going to make any changes. They're going to keep doing the same shit. That's what I'm worried about.
I'm with you.
That's what I'm worried about.
I'm with you.
And on defense, they're going to be like, Durkin's going to sit there and bring pressure for a little while, and then he's going to back off for some damn reason, and the defense is going to be burnt over the top again.
I mean, it's common sense.
So let's go to the Aggie D. Look, I'm a firm believer that this, I mean, talent-wise, man, there's probably few squads in the country, if any, that have the sort of talent that this team has, especially in the front, right? The defensive line, and this year specifically, the linebackers with Cooper, who's playing out of his mind, and York as well at coming in as a freshman and doing what he's doing. This front has been the best, if not the best in the SEC, maybe the best in the country as far as I'm concerned the last couple of weeks. With that being the strength of this defense, what do you do against this Volunteer offense who has been a pretty successful running team this year, not necessarily like last year where they were, slinging it everywhere?
Well, you got to think about if I'm a Tennessee coach right now, I'm gonna think like this. Okay, they know that we're gonna run the ball, but A&M just displayed that they can't fucking stop nobody in the air.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
I'm gonna play action. I'm gonna play action, and I'm gonna go after who Alabama just went after. I'm gonna use the same formula.
Yeah.
Corey, there's one other guy we'd probably go after. Who do you think I'm talking about?
You're probably talking about Damani Richardson.
I love Damani, man, but coverage is not his strength.
No, sir.
Hell no. He gets lost looking in the 26. Stands.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, sir. No,
he
sir.
gets lost looking in the stands. I don't know what the hell he's looking at, but it ain't that guy running 10 yards behind him when he's in coverage. So they're running a max. It's ridiculous.
So let me give you a story about that.
Yeah.
So I'm real cool. I'm real cool with Terrence Kill Jr.
Oh yeah,
out of Atlanta, Georgia, and he's coming to A&M for baseball, right? So I said, "Hey, bro, you playing football and baseball?" He's like, "Nah, man, they ain't offered me yet in football." I said, "What?" So I called his mama. I said, "Hey, why they ain't offer TK?" She said, "Well, at the time, they said he wasn't good enough." I said, "What?" So I hit Lucci. I said, "Bro, this kid wants to come to A&M, but if he's not gonna play football, bro, he's not coming." And the fact that they said that this kid wasn't fit for them, and I'm looking at like, well, who in the hell are y'all looking at that we got right now? So that's when I put a question mark over the IQ of our staff.
Well, and you know what? 26, man. The dude, look, he's been here. He's seen the whole shebang. Look, he's put in his work. He's done those things. And he's got his strengths, right? But his strengths are in the box. His strengths are in the box. They're not deep in coverage, And that coaching staff is continuously putting them in those situations. That's my 2 cents anyway.
That's what I'm saying. It's about coaching. It comes to IQ. It's not going to translate over to the NFL. The NFL is about passing now.
Yeah.
So you really doing this kid a disservice.
In the NFL, he'd be playing linebacker.
1,000%.
100%. So Tennessee comes in, number one rushing offense in all the SEC, about 230 yards a game. Are they going to be able to do that against this front that's been doing what it has been doing against teams?
I
They
mean,
don't have to.
They don't have to.
Yeah, they don't have to. That's Alabama didn't. What did Alabama run for? How many yards? 26.
26 yards.
They didn't have to. We made
Last
Milroe
time
look
I
like
looked, it was 19.
Aaron Rodgers.
They did make Milroe look like Aaron Rodgers, right? He looked like a Heisman contender, just like Van Dyne against Miami, right? He was a Heisman contender against our second.
And that Van Dyne game, that was freaking ridiculous. We didn't put any pressure on that guy. That's when Durkin woke up a little bit and said, "Hey, we're going to bring some heat." And I'll tell you, that's when Edge Cooper became a draft prospect. Man, he turned his whole career around when he started putting pressure on the guy. Let him do that.
Yeah, I'll say this. Look, Milton's another one of these guys that, I mean, has tons and tons of ability. Throwing the football from time to time, he's a little bit erratic, but you wait just a second and let those receivers get deep. I don't know that anybody's got a bigger arm than that guy.
I don't know. Milroe had a big arm.
Yeah, he torched us.
Yeah. No, I mean, they're pretty. I think they're a lot alike. I think Milroe and Milton are a lot of the same. I mean, if you give Milton a chance to run, he will run.
I think Milroe is going to be a better quarterback than Joe Milton when it's all said and done.
But dude, we're looking at the same Milroe from Alabama that we almost beat last year. That guy's improved. Yeah. That's the difference in coaching. You come to A&M, you don't get any better right now. You know what I'm saying? You go to Alabama, you're getting better.
So what needs to happen Saturday for this? What needs to happen Saturday for this defense to be successful? What should the game plan be? What should these guys be doing in order to make sure that this defense is successful against Tennessee? Jay, why don't you start us off, man?
Pressure.
That's it.
Pressure. I mean, that's the only deal I can think of is pressure.
That's it.
Nonstop pressure. I like that idea. We've been saying
nonstop.
Right, Corey? We've been saying it all season.
You dictate the game. You dictate the game. You bring the pressure and say, we're going to bring it. You make changes. If you make changes, I'll tip my hat to you. But I'm not going to sit there and start laying back and cover. Even if I don't give a shit if it's 3rd and 20. Bring it. Because we'll give up a 30-yard pass.
Right.
We showed it this weekend.
Yep.
Or last weekend.
Yep.
And the other side to that is the fact that this is a team couldn't create a freaking turnover to save their lives at the beginning of the season when they're sitting there playing all passive and whatever. Now all of a sudden they started to create some turnovers. That pressure is going to give you an opportunity for that. You may give up a big play from time to time. Hey, you deal with that, right? You deal with that because of all the big plays you're able to make on the other side. I 100% agree with you guys. It's got to be pressure. It's got to be pressure all the time. So let's say we hold these guys to 14 points. Who's the player that stood out and made that happen? Who's the one guy that we'd say, hey, this guy needs to be the man for that to happen? Corey, what do you think?
Well, I mean, you know me, I've had a love affair with McKinley Jackson and Cooper all year. Those two guys, I like those guys. I think Jackson doesn't get enough respect for what he does. He's getting double teamed the whole game. That he's a horse, man. He doesn't give up. That guy, he's got a motor. And Cooper, as long as they don't have Cooper spying the quarterback and he just goes and gets him, because they had him spying Milroe last week, and I saw him pause before he'd take off sometime. He still got 3 sacks. He could have had 5 or 6.
Right.
You know, he would get up there and he'd stop and he'd see what Milroe's going to do. If he just goes, no telling what happens, man.
Jay, what do you think?
I like Jackson.
Who's your guy?
Man, it's really the D-line as a group. You know what I mean? Like I'm an offensive guy, but I'm more so of a hunter too. And your D-line, man, can control.
I remember you hunting for some contact back in the day.
Say it again.
I said I remember you hunting some contact back in the day.
Oh yeah, all the time. I should have been a defensive guy.
Yeah, you should have been.
No, that's right. That's right. That's right on point, man. That's right on point. And it is about that defensive line because golly, there's so many of them, right? I mean, Noah's been absolutely outstanding. Turner. We talked about Jackson. Fidel Diggs has been doing his thing too. I mean, Stewart. Just you could just keep naming them, dude. And they're so deep and they're so talented. And when they let them go, boy, they make plays.
Right.
So let's switch over to your side of the ball. Let's talk a little bit about this Aggie offense, man. And so the Tennessee defense, for the most part, has played pretty well, but they really haven't faced a whole lot, right? When they faced Florida, Florida was able to run the football all over them, right? All over them. Now, is that the strength of the Aggie offense? Are we going to be able to take advantage of the same weakness for Tennessee? Jay, why don't you start us off?
No, I don't think our running game is our focal point. I mean, I've seen it, and it's not it.
Just said who our best players are. Our best players are who?
For me, the best player on offense is Muhammad.
There you go.
For me.
So you get the ball, right?
That's the dog. Like, I like the other players, but that's the dog. So I will run my offense through him.
So you're gonna line it up. You're gonna line it up, and we're gonna sling the ball.
I'm lining it up, and I'm slinging that thing and telling them to stop me.
Corey, what do you think?
Hey man,
talk about the wide receivers. You talk about the slinging,
but I want to go back to the max protector we're talking about because evidently this Tennessee team is one of the tops in sacks for some reason. They played a bunch of shitty teams.
Okay, with that case, then you take the tight end out and add another running back and max protect.
Yeah, I agree. Because no offense against Jake, that Jake can't block shit. That guy he can't touch anything. I mean, somebody gets close to him, he's running the other way.
Yeah. You just take.
Sorry, he's like, hey, that's my brother back there. Go ahead and hit my brother. I don't care. Yeah.
You take your tight end out, add a running back, max protect.
Look, and the two running back look is a coach's perspective, right? Gives you so many options because now you're not stuck with a tight end that's on one side of the ball, right? You can take your running backs and go to either side. You can do whatever you want to, right? It gives you a lot more flexibility as far as what you're doing with that offense. I like their running backs. I really like their running backs. You talked about Moss and you talked about Owens, man. Tell me about what you think this trio of running backs, even the fullback Crownover has had some nice moments out there. Jaworski, give us our opinion on this running back statement.
Well, running back is my position. So I look at it a lot different. And if I'm an offensive coordinator, I'm grooming up Owens right now. I'm grooming him right now. I'm grooming him right now.
I like it.
I'm grooming him right now. I'm grooming him right now. So he would have.
Does that mean you're going to start feeding him the ball a little bit more?
I'm up for a start. I would have started feeding him week 1.
They did that, then they laid off, and then I don't understand what happened.
Coaching.
I'll say this, and you at the beginning of the year, they were more Daniels oriented. Moss was still a little bit hesitant. I've watched Moss grow up from the beginning of the year to where he's at today. That dude has started running with some power, a little putting his shoulder down, sort of taking charge a little bit, especially like you said, between the tackles, right? That those runs between the tackles. So I've been pretty impressed with him. The athleticism and the sort of natural running that Owens has, none of them compare to that, right? Boy, he gets in there and he finds those openings and he's got a feel for space, right? But Moss has been one of those a power back, something you're very familiar with.
Yeah, I mean, he does. But, I mean, if you got a 2-back tandem, you feed off both of them.
Yeah.
You feed off of them. I mean, it's no different from me and Mike Goodson. It's the same deal. Like, you use those people to the best of what their skill sets is.
Yeah, you had the speed, he had the power, right?
Right. So you put them in some type of formation to where the defenses don't know who's who or who's what.
No, and you know what? One of the things that we've talked about is, you can do that. And now you've got those weapons back there. You can do a little bit of misdirection with those guys. And all of a sudden you can help the offensive line because the defense can't just trigger, right?
Yes. So that it goes back to my point earlier of having the old school mindset. You have to become creative.
Yeah. And that's what we're playing. The coach we're playing this week, he's creative. He's younger. Heupel, he's going to do some weird shit.
Right.
He knows how to get, he's going to speed the game up. That's what the guy's been talking about on the radio. Like, hey, what are you worried about? Well, we know they're going to do this shit quick. They're going to get up to the line. They're going to snap it. We got to be ready.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're going to run a lot of plays. There ain't no question.
We don't do that. And they might run the ball 100 times, Tennessee. They don't need to throw it. They're running the ball a lot.
Hey, Corey, look, you brought up the offensive line earlier. What do we got to see from that group? Who's got to step up because they've been underperforming all year?
Man, it's the same people we've been talking about. There's Lane Robinson, your right guard, and Foster. They got to block somebody. If there's not somebody in front of them, they got to find someone because they just lose interest if they don't get their hands on somebody. If they don't have their hands on somebody, they're out of the play. You know what I'm saying? They got to find – they got to communicate. Those guys on the offensive line aren't communicating. Last year we talked about it when what's that left guard came in. You said, "Hey man, he's starting to communicate with these other guys." What was his name?
Cam Newberry.
Newberry, yeah, he was communicating. He was talking like, "Hey, we got to slide protect." They're not doing that shit. They're not communicating at all. And that's the kind of stuff. They haven't gotten any better. That's what I was trying to say earlier. Other teams are getting better. Our guys aren't getting better. We got guys that are 4- and 5-star recruits that are playing. They're still right there. They're not getting drafted because our coaching staff isn't helping them out.
Hey, Jay, so
our coaching staffs are great salesmen. They're great salesmen, but
that's
about it.
Jay, you an offensive line guy, man? You watch a little bit of the offensive line, or is that not your thing?
No, I watch it all, bro.
Because I look at this group, and I was an O-line coach, man. That was my thing, right? I look at this group, and they're plenty talented. But for some reason, I don't know if it's, playing favorites or, Adazio doesn't like certain guys, or I don't know what's going on. But, a guy Fothery who started 2 years already, and all of a sudden he's nowhere to be seen. They put him in the game so he can't be that injured, right? They put him in the game so he can't be that injured. Dewberry, who I thought made the offensive line better last year as a freshman when he got in at guard, and he's stuck behind a couple of guys at guard, right? And Layden Robinson, by the way, who's a senior, that guy's been horrible. I know, no offense, Layden, don't get mad at me, but his play has not been up to par to what he should be doing, right? So, I mean, I don't even get it, man. I don't understand it. How do we get past that?
It's coaching.
Hey, there it is. That's it. All right, Javorski, I'm going to ask you an honest question. If we had Lane Kiffin or that kid Heupel at Tennessee coaching this team, would we be where we're at right now, or would we be better? I'm just asking. You don't. I mean,
way better.
Way better. That's
like I said, dude.
They're younger. They know the difference.
The game of football has changed.
Yes. And that's the smartest thing Nick Saban ever did. Nick Saban, he went out and hired Lane Kiffin because he knew that the game was changing. Nick Saban knew it. And he wasn't willing to make changes until he hired Lane Kiffin. And Lane came in and changed that offense. Nick didn't so much like Lane that much, got rid of his ass, but he kept his philosophy. You see what I'm saying? He kept the offense. He's like, I got to change.
The game has just changed. Look at the Patriots and Bill Belichick.
Yeah. Game's passing him by.
It's passed these old dudes up, man.
Did y'all watch Army play football this year?
No, I haven't.
Y'all know Army. They usually run the option, right? Run the ball 100 times a game. I'll be damned if they didn't throw the ball 20 times the other day when I watched them play. It freaked me the hell out. I was like, what? They're running from the shotgun. They ain't running the triple option. I was like, who am I watching?
Yeah.
It's taken them 2 years under that new coach to get to that point.
But dude, I mean, it's like
20 throws.
Now, the quarterback sucked. Don't get me wrong, they sucked, but it was something.
Hey, so let's finish up with the Aggies just real quick here. If this offense is to be successful, who's got to be the player of the game? Javorski, start us off.
Say that question again.
If this offense is going to be successful this Saturday, who's got to be your player of the game?
Man, you know who I'm going with, Muhammad.
Moose, that's who he's
I
going
love
with.
it. Corey, whose name has I been saying since middle of last year? Beginning of last year.
We've been talking about Moose. We don't understand why he's not more in the game. We love Evan Stewart. We love Anias. We love Moose. But why can't – there should be enough ball to go around all three guys.
Last year, it took an injury to Anias to get Moose on the field.
It took him taking the sleeves off or some shit, I guess. I don't know what it was. That was some stupid shit.
I think I have an idea, but I'm not sure.
What?
Moose is a fucking dog. He's a dog.
House? You think he's in the doghouse?
Well, no, okay. I put it like this: he has the Des Bryant effect.
Well,
hey, Des is one of my dudes, man.
That's what I'm saying.
Des is one of my dudes. If I'm gonna put together a football team, he'd be one of the first folks I'm calling.
Absolutely.
So let's go around college football. Corey, you the man. Best matchup of the weekend. I think it's Oregon-Washington. The spread is 3. Washington's -3 at home. What are your thoughts?
I like that Oregon team, man. That Oregon team's impressing me. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. It ain't going to be much defense at all. It's going to be like an old Big 12 game. Points.
Jay?
Everybody's scoring.
Well, for me, bro, I don't even really watch other teams at all the time. Like right now, my focus is on my Aggies trying to get their shit together.
Well, I'll tell you this. The number one game I'm watching this weekend is definitely A&M's matchup with Tennessee. But number 2 is that Oregon-Washington matchup. And I think that's going to be a good game. But I'm with you. Oregon, I'd take Oregon from what I've seen so far out of those guys. How about number 10 USC against Notre Dame at Notre Dame? Notre Dame's -3. They're favored. Notre Dame is favored against the undefeated USC. Corey, what do you think?
Oh, give me Notre Dame. That USC just went to triple overtime at home against Arizona. Come on.
That's true.
Yeah,
they do give up points.
Against Deion now.
Yeah, that's true.
Deion almost got him one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Deion almost got him one. I'm going to tell you this. I guarantee you this. Deion is his son is coming back next year for his senior year. He ain't leaving because Deion wants to see year 2 of Colorado. Deion wants to see year 2 of Colorado.
Okay.
I've been saying it already. I've been saying Deion's our next coach at A&M, by the way. I've been saying that. Go ahead, Javorski. Say it's true. Say it's true.
It's two prospects.
Yeah, Deion and who?
Aaron Glenn.
Oh, yeah.
Glenn is a head coach?
Oh,
Why
yeah.
not?
Is he a head coach anywhere yet?
He's been interviewing all over the NFL, man. He's going to be a head coach very soon. It's probably after this year because they're doing a great job out there in Detroit.
With Cam?
Yeah.
Doing a great job in Detroit.
I mean, I'll be honest, I really think if Deion's going to be our head coach, I love Aaron Glenn, don't get me wrong. I just didn't know if he had any head coach. They're going to make a big splash. If they hire somebody, I don't think Aaron Glenn would be that big splash.
If you want to be relatable, you got to go get Deion or Aaron Glenn.
Hey, Deion.
I agree. I think either one of those two guys is going to come in with the ability to relate to the kids, right? To relate to the players. And either one of those guys brings the reputation to do that.
Yes.
I'd love either one of them. I think they're both big time ball players.
Yeah.
Yep.
Last game, real quick. Miami, who everybody had as a national championship contender up until this past weekend, is that your boys UNC, Corey? Corey, you love you some UNC. They're -3.5. What do you think?
Miami doesn't get their head out of their ass like they did last week. Fucking, how do you not take a knee? You not take a knee on that play. That's the dumbest shit I've ever seen. Javorski, did you see that shit?
No, I haven't seen it.
They could have run out the clock, took a knee, run out the clock, and instead they handed it off, a fumble. The other team got it back and scored with like 27 seconds left. Lost the game.
That's dumb.
It was just dumb. And Aggies lost to that team. The Aggies lost bad to that team. I can't believe that. It hurts my feelings.
Another one of those old school coaches, man.
Give me Carolina.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. They need to get out of the way, man.
Get out the way.
Dude, that's what we said 2 years ago. It's like we said, Durkin, just get out of the way, man. You don't have to coach up these guys too much.
Yeah.
Let them
Just let them
play.
go play.
Just
He's got LT Overton. He's got defensive tackles playing in the secondary.
Just imagine if Deion Sanders had our defensive line.
Yeah. Or our talent, period. Look at our talent we have here.
Period.
You put a Tennessee's roster up against A&M roster, we should be favored by 20 Saturday.
Hey, I'd love to see Shador with this group of receivers. I'll tell you that.
Oh, you and me both.
Man. Hey, a couple of questions for the tailgate. Here we go. For the Aggies to win out, who needs to step that game up?
I'll tell you who. The coaches need to step their game up. The damn coaches need to step their game up. That's it. I mean, I'm just tired of their bullshit. And all they have to say is execute all the time. Hey, we need to execute.
Hey, this week, Jimbo went back to, well, we got to have experience to win. Hey, you're going to use that again? Last year, you weren't experienced enough. Now you're going to use it again. Jay, what do you think?
Coaching.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, 100%.
We got the dogs. Here we go.
Javorski said, we got the dogs.
Last one. Here we go. Is Jimbo actually on the hot seat? Is Jimbo actually on the hot seat? Jay, why don't you start us off?
1,000%.
Yes. He just
so
said
they're going to pay out that $77 million buyout.
That ain't.
Let me tell you something. Hey, bro, let me tell you something about the Aggies, bro. They go get your ass out of there, man, if you don't do what you're supposed to do.
Money ain't a problem.
Money ain't a problem, bro.
Nope.
I love it.
Yeah,
hey, Jay, appreciate you coming on, man. We'll talk after the show a second.
Yes, sir.
Gig 'em Aggies.
Yes,
AP,
sir. Have a good one, bro.
Jay, C Money, signing out.